Okay, so I'm going to call the meeting to order, and thanks everybody for getting here. We'll start with the approval of the minutes for June. I don't know that there was anything in the minutes that had to be changed for June.
A motion to
approve.
Motion to approve.
Can I get, okay, thank you. So we'll approve those minutes. So starting with communications, I will let either Lisa or Nancy, I'm not sure if Lisa's over there, speak about the shelter staining, which is being done by Penfield Rotary.
Yeah, so the Penfield Rotary Club has offered to, it's actually not stained, but to seal the shelter on the garden's behalf, and that's scheduled for next weekend at 9 a.m. We're going to get there around between 8:30 and quarter of just to get set up. They're going to bring their brushes, and we're going to supply the sealer, which we have enough in the shed.
So are you talking about the weekend of the 24th?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Yes, weekend of the 24th. And we are not going to do the table or the benches because that needs to continue to cure for a bit longer before that can be sealed. We're going to bring, we'll bring our own step ladders and a drop cloth. So that is their service project for July.
Wow. Well, thank you, Penfield Rotary, again, for being so good to us. Wow, that is fantastic. Are there any questions about that? Okay. Eagle Scout projects. So Sabrina had contacted me and said that there were some Eagle Scouts that had contacted the Recreation Department about possible Scout projects. And one of the things we did have on our list was the retaining wall that we actually got the for. But I didn't know if there were any other projects that we had in mind, if there were more than one Eagle Scout.
We also have Sammy, who also asked about having an Eagle Scout project. He's the brother of Matt, who did some of the beds.
Goodwin.
Oh,
Matt Goodwin, and so Sammy Goodwin is also looking for one.
Sabrina, how many scouts contacted you?
Just one.
Just one. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so that would be 2 scouts, obviously. And I think the retaining wall thing could definitely be done with one of them. And then I couldn't think on the spot to think of any others. So.
Well, we do have the plan for continued beds in the back. Ben will be planting the bed, the permaculture bed, and then that will settle in, and then there'll be a need for a couple others back there. We just want to get the first one in and planted. And then there's kind of a goal to have 2 more smaller ones in the back, and that would be ideal for another Boy Scout.
That probably the kid who contacted Sabrina is probably more like within a year kind of thing. So I would go with the retaining wall. How long does Sammy have? Do you know?
Sammy graduates. He's a senior this year, so he'll probably need to have it done this year. He's the same age as our boys.
The only other thing that I could suggest is a water line, some water line work. We have a lot of faucets that need to be replaced. And that's something that I was going to talk down on the agenda about. And that might be something that he can do.
Okay.
That's really infrastructure. That's kind of important, you know.
Yeah, but it's beneficial.
Yeah. No, I know. All right. So if anyone comes up with ideas about that, otherwise I think we'll go with the retaining wall for the one kiddo that contacted Sabrina. And actually, if we find out that that kiddo is younger than Sammy, we can swap them out. We'll find out.
I have another one, Dot.
Oh, good.
How about the both the kiosk and the pergola that's front are very poor shape, in need of staining. So,
Okay, yep.
and if you look at the roof of the kiosk, it's in sad shape.
Kiosk repair would be a good job.
It would be a great one.
And maybe getting a real good bulletin board in there. I've been hoping for that for years, but I haven't been able to figure out how to do it.
Upgrading
I
the
think
kiosk.
that's a good one.
It's a great idea.
Thank you. See, I can't think of everything, but when you say things, it's like, yep. So we have at least 4 things we can. So Sabrina, if you send me the contact information, I can reach out or you can reach out, whichever one is good.
Sure. Yeah, I can send it to you.
Okay.
And I'll reach out to Sammy tonight.
Okay. Food donations, this is back on communications. Food donations have started. It's now Tuesday drop-offs, and we've already started getting a lot of zucchini come in. So we've done three drop-offs so far, which is, for this time of year, I feel like it's amazing because it's just the middle of July. So I will be away this weekend, so if there's somebody who wants to check the cooler and swap ice this weekend, that would be helpful.
We can do it.
Okay. All right. Anything else on communications that anyone has that they need to share at this point? Okay. Public participation. Anybody for public participation?
Actually, can I be public?
No.
Sure.
I'm representing the Rotary, actually, so I'm a public.
Oh, okay.
The Four Corners, we've always worked in conjunction with the Rotary, and usually the Girl Scouts on watering there's 7 planters out in the Four Corners. And the Girl Scouts have done a couple times, but they're short and stuff. So we're looking for later on in the summer, a couple people who are willing to come and adopt a week and check on the planters, water them if they need them, and periodically check on them. Of course, if we keep getting rain like this now, we'll probably have to be bailing them out instead. But so if anyone's interested in kind of picking a week to do some watering and stuff from our group, and we'll send out a note to the rest of the garden group. But we can get a
Tara's putting together a schedule.
Yeah, Tara's putting together a schedule. So if
Okay.
there's someone who can do it, send me the note. I'll hook you up with Tara, and you guys can figure out a week that you might want to volunteer.
All right, and I can send that out to the rest of our gardeners too.
That'd be
to see
great.
if they want to. I know some of them have helped before, so
They have. We've had quite a
Yeah.
few.
quite a few people have helped with that Four Corners thing, and it's a really nice, it's a nice thing that we do with the Rotary, and we've also worked with the Girl Scouts on that. And one year, I think we worked with the Baptist Church on that too.
We did. They couldn't help this year because of all the situations with COVID and stuff.
Okay. So action items. 1 water spigot was fixed. There are other water spigots that need repair. Thankfully, my husband is some kind of amateur plumber. I don't know. He seems to do well with these things, but we're going to have to buy some faucets because the one that we used to repair, and it was like I had to get it done over the weekend, repair was just kind of like we found a faucet lying around and we did the best we could with it. So we're going to have to purchase some new spigots. And the one we got at to replace the one at row 12 that was broken is a quarter turn. Do you guys know what I mean by that?
Yes.
You don't open it all the way up. And I don't know how you all feel about that. I know maybe some of you other guys who are more engineering minded might say, do you think that's a better or a worse thing?
They seal better.
Yeah.
They're a better seal.
And it's also similar to what's on the main water shutoff. It's exactly
Yes.
that.
Okay, so you guys, people would be okay if we switched over to the quarter turn ones.
Yep.
if we couldn't get the ones that screw all the way out.
I motion for a quarter turn.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure that, I mean, it was a sort of on the fly thing, and that's what we were able to get our hands on. And we put it in, and I just want to make sure that going forward, if we needed to use more of those, it wouldn't be a problem. Because, of course, I don't know anything about plumbing. I just kind of go with what I got.
I'd like to recommend, considering a lot of these faucets now, what, about 8 years old, most of them?
Yeah.
I'd recommend buying a couple and having at least one in the shed as a backup.
Yeah, and I think we have to replace at least 4 of them right now have to be replaced.
So I would get a couple extra.
Fran helped my husband and I figure out what was wrong with it. And he was like, you can't really fix this without going in here and unscrewing this thing. He's like, and it's all rusted up. So we just kind of decided to get rid of it. So, all right. So when we get to the budget, which is very soon, we can see how much money we think we might spend on water spigots. It's not an urgent need right now because the few that are like on their way out are still workable. So
got another comment on water.
yeah.
I know the hose on number 12 leaks terrible, and it's leaking. I don't know how that, because those are those heavy duty hoses. I don't know if there's a thing to tighten up on the end of that hose, but it's pouring. When you turn the water on, it pours out of there, and it's not the connection to the valve.
Okay. So I'm going to, 2 things. I guess we can check the washer, but the other thing was that faucet that we put on 12, the threading that you screw the hose on is a little shorter. Do you think that makes a difference, Mark?
I don't think so, because it doesn't look like it's coming out of that fitting. It's coming out of where the rubber the hose goes into.
Oh.
So and I don't know if there's something in there that's replaceable or whether something's bad in there, because I'd hate to have to put in a whole new hose or cut an end off and put another end on.
Right. Well, yeah, we've done that, and we had one that blew out last week that we had to redo.
Yeah.
I mean, I
look at
could,
it closer.
and we have some other hoses lying around that you could try swapping it out with just to troubleshoot it to see if it's the hose or the faucet.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I also noticed that the sink tends to drip all the time. And I don't know if we need to put a shut-off valve,
Yeah.
there right underneath the sink so that we can just, if people want the sink, they can turn the water on there. Because is the shut-off for that over by the
Compost.
compost?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my husband talked about maybe we should get a new faucet there because he has replaced the handle things,
Yep.
the valves that open and close. And he was looking at it the day we fixed the faucet and the blown out hose. I said, well, let's look at this now. And he said, I think this has to be replaced. I'm not sure I have to take it apart. So,
Okay.
we'll have to check that out. The problem with that sink is that the faucet, it goes in the wall. So those are hard to find. Cause it's like a restaurant faucet,
Yeah.
and I might need to maybe check and see if we can find a secondhand one at like the Restore or something like that. Cause I don't
Okay.
know about buying a new one.
Yeah. I'll keep my eye open because, you see people throw sinks out all the time.
Right. I mean, if we
You know,
could
on the side of
replace
the
the
road.
whole thing and it was
Might be able to-
with stainless steel like it is, I mean, that's just an ideal thing. I've already found that,
Yeah.
so he's always
Okay.
good with that. Thank you. Where are we now? Oh, bed registration and present budget. There is one question about bed registration before we go on.
Okay.
And so this is really for Greg. I know you've been taking care of the bed that Sandy and Chops had to let go. And we do have to dig the raspberries out of the one bed, and Nancy had said that Ben can the scout who's working on the permaculture bed can dig out those raspberries for us. But the other bed that just has the garlic in it, should we see if there's somebody who wants to take that bed to use it for the rest of the season?
Well, what I planned on doing is harvesting the garlic and taking it to Gordy. I mean chops, and then we can offer it up for one of the people that are on the wait list. Sure, it does.
Okay.
It probably does need a little bit of soil in it too.
Yeah. So Sabrina, I don't know if you want to see if Dee Marsh, who is a gardener with us, who's also on the wait list to get another bed, she would take it. And I mean, just if she wanted to take it and she would care for it, you know, that would be a plus for us because we wouldn't have to worry about it then.
Okay. I can reach out to her.
And if she doesn't want to take it, one of the other options is we could plan it with something like beans, something that's pretty easy, and then harvest it. So if there is no one to take it and it needs it, we could do a mass planting of beans or something, then give it to the food shelf.
Yeah, beans are good because they're good nitrogen fixers, and we could give the beans to the food shelf if she doesn't want it. So, but I thank you, Greg, for taking care of that bed. Yeah, you put a lot of work into it. It looks great. So, and Nancy, Ben is going to be able to dig out those raspberries for us?
Yeah, I sent him a note. I'll send him another one just to check with him. We're waiting on soil, which I sent to Sabrina just a quote recently. So hopefully the soil, and he's back from vacation. So hopefully the second half of finishing it will be in play. And what's kind of nice, since I'm here, the Rotary has offered to buy the 2 fruit trees.
Oh, that's nice.
So they're going to purchase, a little nicer ones, probably a semi-dwarf, but one that's a little bit older. We'll go to Vacola, who has supported our garden in the past, and get 2 fruit trees, maybe a peach or a pear or a plum, something that doesn't, no pears, they need friends, but someone who doesn't need a friend. And so those are taken care of, and Ben has raised some money that he's going to purchase some plants with too, which is kind of fun.
Nice, thank you. And thank the Rotary. We actually should make a list of thank you cards we have to do, because now I forgot one thing in communications. I'm so sorry. Today, and this was very spur of the moment, today, Penfield Honor Society student was at the garden with my husband and I. His name is Nick Corwin. He did 2 hours of work on helping my husband level the land for where the shed's going to be moved to, the little shed, and move soil from that area around the pad. So now when you go there, you'll see the gravel is more level. It's not done yet, but we definitely got that started. And we also cleaned out the pad and the picnic tables of all the bird doo-doo, and took all the birds' nests down. There were no eggs in the nest, so please, it was okay. Everything was fine, because the Rotary is going to be working on that, and we cleaned that with a hose too. So he did a lot of work, 2 hours, good kid.
He's a great kid. You
Yeah.
probably wore him out. He's probably exhausted now.
So when you all see the soil around the pad and what it looks like, just and the leveling behind the shed that we did there in the compost area, whatever else you think needs to be done, or if it looks like it needs some more work, just let me know. Take a look at it and tell me what you think. All right, so where are we now? Budget.
Okay.
Are you going to share the budget?
Let's see if I can do this. If I can figure it out.
Okay. I feel like we did it last time, but you can't do full screen.
I can't.
Okay, maybe I can.
Disabled, so
I might be able to.
it says
Nope.
PCTV disabled it. So
Okay.
so
you wanna
let's just talk about it. Nothing new really. I added the roles of fencing and the water wands. So currently what you have spent is only $609. Wait, is that right? Yeah. $609.57, which leaves you with $2,817.43.
Does that
And-
include the pasta money too?
It does, let's see.
It looks like it does. $8.99, the pasta money.
Yeah, but I don't. Yes, it does.
Yep. So then that pasta money is going to go towards the soil.
Yep. And then probably a couple plants that we don't get that Ben has raised some money. I have a bunch to donate. A number of other gardeners have donated fruit plants. And then we'll probably need to pick out a few things that we don't have.
So
They'll be left over.
yeah, a couple of things that we need to purchase, which goes under fence repair. So I'll wait if anyone, does everyone want me to just kind of email them the budget sheet? I can do that.
Sure.
If everybody feels like that's a good way to do it.
The one that I just sent,
The one you sent me.
I just sent to everybody.
She sent
Oh,
it to
you did send
everybody.
it to, oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Well, good, then they can all see it.
Yeah.
I was supposed to send it to everyone last night and I forgot.
Okay. Very
And then when
good.
you emailed me this morning, I remembered.
Okay, thanks.
She fesses up now.
We wouldn't forget you, Chris.
Oh. Well, the first time we did
Not on
forget.
purpose. Okay.
That is all.
Sorry. All right. Sorry. Any questions about the budget? Did you get the budget email, Chris?
I'm on a different computer,
Oh,
and so I'll check for it later.
okay. Okay. All right. Fence repairs. This kind of loops right in with the budget. We had a little meetup at the meeting with only 4 people wearing masks. And we checked all the poles and the cables. We have a pole that needs to be replaced. So we have to get from the people that supply the grape vineyards. That's where we got the poles from originally. And I don't know if we still have an account with that. I might have asked Sabrina, but I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't think we ever did have an account.
Yeah, I don't think we ever did. So we have to replace one pole. So I'll figure out how we're going to do that. We're going to need to buy 3 rolls of the plastic deer fencing to finish off. We're going to redo the plastic netting. And then over that, we're going to do the 4-foot metal. We have the hog ring tools. We have the hog rings. We have the staples because Dave had a whole bunch of those and he gave them to Nancy when he was moving out of his house. He had a ton of them and he gave them to Nancy. So we can use all those up. And I just really need to kind of pick a date to get started on this. And I was thinking maybe we do Thursday nights and I just send out a sign up genius and whoever shows up on the Thursday night to work it.
Is that plastic deer fencing something? I seem to recall it was something special that you had to get from a fencing company.
We did get something special from a fencing company, but I don't think it's not something. I think we could probably get something comparable at Home Depot. I've been looking at their things, but
Okay.
Make sure it's thick enough. Sometimes it's very light.
that's the difference. So I have to see the grade. I don't know how they show that on the label, quite honestly. I have to do a little research. Currently, we have 300 feet of it, which means we only need like 400 more, so we can get started. And then as we're figuring that out, because it's going to be something that's going to take time. So the good news is we have some new gardeners who are interested in helping, who really want to help fix the fence because they don't want their greens to get chewed up. So, so anybody have any thoughts about doing fence work on Thursday nights?
Yeah, I think it's great. When do you think you're going to start that?
Well, I'd really like to start next week because Carol Boyer and I did 7 patches today on the fence.
7. Wow.
Well, the little critter, he's chewing holes through the fence, and he came back in and he was digging again. So, yeah. So he's really that, which brings me to whether or not, I don't know, Sabrina, if you got my email today about possibly trapping. You're muted.
I did.
Okay.
I saw that, and I have not contacted anyone, but I did send, when I got that, I sent an email to our animal control officer. I think he's the one that we need to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, so be the one to do it.
I will wait to hear back from him.
Okay. I mean, really, it's just this one guy we got to get rid of. So.
The other groundhogs peacefully live on the other side, but this one
On the other
seems to be
side
a
of the
little
fence.
aggressive. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
One's a young
So-
one and seems to be.
He chews through and he comes in. So every day there's a new hole. So it's kind of like when you have a boat that is getting a new hole every time. We just keep putting our hands over the holes,
Yeah. Okay.
which is why I'd like to start fixing the fence next week. Because I think it's really an urgent need. All right. We're on food forest update. I don't know, Nancy, if there's anything else you need to say that you haven't already said, but
Yeah, nothing much. Sabrina, did you get my email on the quotes? I sent you 3 quotes
Oh, okay.
for suppliers. So take a look.
I probably
One of them is
didn't.
significantly better, and it's Firmagreen that we always use
Okay.
in the past. And what's nice is, of the 3 quotes, Firmagreen is willing, as long as we go on a dry day, they will deliver right to the bed for us. Where the other 2 will only put it in the parking lot, and it's 12 yards. It would take us hours to move. They're also the best price, and their topsoil is 30% compost, where the other 2 are just topsoil.
Okay.
So I sent it to you, and just let me know, and then we can make arrangements to have it delivered. We'll look at the schedule, make sure we get a dry day in, and then Ben is ready and raring to go.
Okay.
And what's really nice is he's done a great job. I've gone out there twice, checked it out. Nothing's growing, so it's killed everything underneath. The mulch is on nice and thick, so we're ready. We're ready to be able to add soil and start adding, viable food forest plants to it. And hopefully by fall, everyone's in.
Okay.
moving the small shed. Any word on that, Sabrina?
God, I can hardly hear you.
Can't hear me?
Yeah, bring it up.
I can hear you.
It's low.
It's very quiet.
Yeah, I don't know what changed.
I don't know what changed either.
Cat.
The cat sitting in front of it.
Nope. Nobody's here but me. I'm all by myself. Can you hear me?
I can hear you pretty good. I think it's just lower.
Maybe it's the rain.
Kind of yelling into my microphone.
Maybe that's the problem.
You broke
No,
it.
I just started yelling into my microphone.
Huh.
Mark, can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm like leaning towards my computer here, and now lost my place in my so small shed area. So
So-
Sabrina,
I have not heard. I know that our director of DPW is out this week. And I know that he was going to go and look at it. That was the last I heard.
okay, well, I mean, we're preparing the site, and like I said before, if Mark or Greg or Nancy or Sarah or anyone goes out there and takes a look at the site, and just let me know, because I can get Nick Corwin back there to do some more work if I need to. I know we measured how big it was, so they tried to kind of level out an area that was the size of that. So hopefully
Mhm.
it'll be prepared
Okay, great,
and ready to go.
great, okay. I know that they, all the equipment that they would need to do that is out doing drainage work and all that. So it may not be until the weather gets bad enough that they can't do that.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
a lot of drainage.
Well, you know, Dot, I did see a video of 300 Mennonites moving a building. So maybe we just get 20 gardeners moving a little shed.
Wearing masks.
Very mess.
Right. We need.
Okay.
Did anybody mention whether, do we need to put, I don't know what's under the, where the shed is right now. Do we need to put pavers down or something instead of having that sit right on the ground?
It might be on a gravel pad.
Could be. I mean, that would do the same thing. You probably don't want it sitting on bare dirt. So
No. I think it might be on gravel, but I have to look real close at it and see. Either way, gravel or pavers would work.
yeah,
We probably should put something underneath it, just to discourage anybody from moving in.
Oh, we'll put the hardware cloth underneath it too, so that it can't dig under,
Right.
like we did with the other shed. So, okay.
okay.
So, but we have to remember, we might need to purchase some gravel if we can't move the gravel that's there, which I don't know that, it sinks in, there won't be enough. So we might need to purchase some gravel. Just write myself a note. All right. I know it's on like a platform, Mark. The shed,
Okay.
it looks like a deck platform. At the bottom of the shed. So,
Okay. I'll take a look at it, see if I can figure it out.
yeah.
I'll also kind of watch, there's a lot of free stuff on, Craigslist and Marketplace. We may be able to get enough pavers. You can't see them as long as we can get them in there and they take the space up. If they're close enough, we don't really care what they look like. We can pick up a bunch of free stuff and put them in.
Yeah.
I like doing that, recycle.
Yep.
We have a lot of concrete blocks. We could build, a short base for it too, out of concrete blocks. We have we have concrete blocks that aren't too thick in that stack.
That's a good idea from all those cinder blocks we have. That's an excellent idea. And I also think, speaking of that first compost stall looks like it's completely gone down. It's almost empty at this point. So we might need to rotate out which ones we're filling.
Yeah, I didn't know if you wanted, didn't see it on the list because if it's okay if we talk about that now.
Go ahead.
Because my thought was just because trying to get people there and having to be 6 feet apart and all that, I wonder if we should just, and in past years, it seems like we've sifted the compost and then it's sat around forever. I wonder if we should just shovel out the stalls and then put it over at the far end and let people come sift it as they want it. And that way we could open up 2 or 3 real quick.
That's not a bad idea. Would you put it on a tarp?
I don't know that you'd have to put it on a tarp because it's not really going to hurt anything.
Right.
We could just pile it there, put the sifter there, and then tell people, send out an email and say, if you want compost, you can either take it like it is or sift it if you want. But it seems like, Greg and I, and, we've done it the last few years, and then this pile just sits there for half the summer.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And then it's also, that's part of the work that volunteers are doing. Maybe the gardener who wants the compost is going to do.
Right.
So I think that's a good idea. Would you cover it with a tarp?
You probably could. Although anytime you cover anything with a tarp, you encourage
Oh, yeah.
rodents.
That's true.
So.
Then you get critters living.
Visitors.
visitors. Yeah.
So I guess we could leave it uncovered for now and then see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, depending upon where you leave it, that area is very covered anyway and shaded.
Right.
So I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
Anyone else? I mean, I feel like it's smart.
I think it's a great idea. One of my thoughts was if we set up another compost bin and then just have really good, all the compost go into one and we just keep adding to it so it's done. That way we kind of have like a finished bin.
I have a good scout project.
Yeah.
Build a hanging sifter. You know, like the archaeologists have? So it hangs on a chain. It's on an A-frame. It hangs on a chain, and you go like this to sift.
That'd be
And
awesome.
we could have the scout build a hanging sifter next to our compost. So when people like Mark and Greg take out the unsifted compost, the sifter is there. You put the wheelbarrow under it, and you sift.
Oh, that's
perfect.
brilliant.
I love it.
You like it?
Yes, I do.
Okay, we're going to get one of the scouts to build a compost sifter.
So when they do that, Dot,
Yeah.
make sure there's a way to dump it, because you're going to have all the rocks and the garbage that doesn't sift through in the, sitting in the sifter, and you're going to have a way to empty that.
We'll come up with requirements.
So yeah,
I'm sure you
come up
can
with-
find it online.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll probably have to unhook it, or maybe it can just swing down and swing back up.
Yeah.
Trapdoor.
A little trap door or something.
Yeah. We could find plans online. I think that'd be a cool project.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Did we still have the motor for that one that? Oh gosh, what was his name?
Bob, we have
Bob.
all the parts. Yeah.
We still.
And I probably have the plans somewhere.
Yeah, you can find those online too. I know the plans are.
Yeah. He wanted to make a motorized sifter. The
Yep.
only thing about that is that it uses gas.
Yeah. My thought, I mean, way back when, was you could probably make it where you can turn it by hand,
A tumbling sifter.
but
Yep.
the one we had seemed to work pretty good, and it was pretty low tech and didn't require a lot of fixing. So
I found
Yeah.
a bunch of plans online. They're really cool.
All right. Get Sammy on it.
I will. I'll ask him if he's interested.
Yep. I think we got somebody.
okay.
Lots of plans.
Awesome. That would be
Tons.
such a great addition to our compost area.
That'd be awesome. And you could make actually a couple. Some of the plans is they're only as big as a wheelbarrow, so you could have a couple that they could hang or be out of the way when you need them. If we set up a place where we can just hang it up, so it doesn't have to always stay there. So you can take it. It's the ones that I see here are actually about this big. So like 2.5 feet, 3 feet by 2.5 feet wide. So it just goes right over a wheelbarrow, and it's on a chain, and you can shake it right over, and it looks relatively light with filters. I have a cat here who's
I
demanding.
was going to say, I think your cat needs attention, Nance.
No, monkey, come here. Come say hi to the world. There we go.
Hi, monkey. All right. So ramp from the parking area. I'm guessing if Sabrina talked to the DPW about that, we don't have any information yet.
The ramp?
Yeah. To see
Oh, I
if
have not.
okay. So to see if DPW could put asphalt at the end of our ramp to kind of grade it down to our parking area.
Yeah, it could just be tillings or something that just can be compressed.
I thought we were concerned about that because it would go into the parking lot.
No.
So
No, okay.
I had a thought about that, because it will.
Go ahead.
I mean, to get the proper grade, it's going to stick out probably 6 feet
Yeah.
at least into the parking lot. But I was wondering if we ran it at a right angle from
Yep.
where that ramp is, and then it goes along where that flower bed is, and we could make it as long as we had to,
No, that'd be perfect.
and it wouldn't stick out into the parking lot any.
Yep. That is true, Mark. All right. So,
But
Okay.
I guess the question is whether we can get the milling, if they have any, the town has anything we can use that would compact okay.
Yeah, because it just really needs to be built up and, compressible for it
Right.
to work. So, I mean, and again, that might be a fall thing because I know they're working on other things right now, but just to keep it up on the radar there.
Okay. I'm sorry, that wasn't on my list.
That's all right. I don't know how comprehensive a discussion we had about it last time, so.
Or if we had a carpenter,
One out for later.
Dot,
Yeah.
if we had a carpenter, they could build a ramp similar to the one on the pet shed
Ooh.
neck.
Ooh, a Boy Scout project.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah. I mean, a wooden one would work, right?
Right, so that's another one. Maybe we could do like 3 little mini projects. Sifter, ramp, and redo the kiosk. All of it's carpentry.
Yeah.
All right, I'll bring it up to Sam.
You see how many projects we thought of in this one meeting? I knew I couldn't think of any myself. What do you think of a wood ramp, Mark?
Oh, that would work fine.
Okay.
And pressure treated. It'll be easy.
We're still
Yeah.
we're probably going to need railings on it, on the whole thing though. I'm thinking.
We might, unless we get the grade of the land up high enough, right?
Well, I mean, at least like if you come up from the side, like I was describing, and you come up onto that concrete pad, to your left, if you're in a wheelchair, you come up there and you go off the left side, you're going to fall into the parking lot.
That's true.
Because we're not going to probably grade that. So at least that stretch there is probably going to, and even in front of you, you're probably going to need a railing. You don't want something where they're going to come up, hit that concrete
Go off
pad,
the
and go
edge.
shooting off the other side.
Yeah. We could do the wood railing then, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You could do a wood railing.
We might
I don't-
even be able to find some railing.
Yeah. I'm wondering whether we'd be able to put anchors into the concrete pad itself to attach the railings to. I have to think about that.
We could ask the mason. He would know.
Yeah.
He's a nice guy. He probably would advise us well on that.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, I gotta write that down though before I forget. The railing with the ramp. Okay. Hardware cloth in the shelter to stop the birds. I'm guessing that's gonna get done after Rotary does the,
After we paint
okay.
or seal, after we seal.
Yeah, and I mean, that's something, I was actually going to do it this weekend. Well, not this week, I was going to do it when I was doing the cleaning around there with Nick. And then Nancy mentioned they were going to be staining it or sealing it and that I shouldn't put up the hardware cloth until after they do the sealing. So that will keep the birds from re-nesting up there. They'll probably be back up there tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll clean them out though.
We just got,
But before we seal, we'll make sure we clean and check it, make sure nobody's living up there.
yeah. I did rinse it with a hose, but there was definitely a lot of bird droppings up there. So before you do sealing, you might want to bring like a bucket and a sponge or something to really wipe it out.
We'll bring some cleaning stuff. That's a good idea. I'll put that down on our supplies.
Hi, Dave. Did you have trouble getting in?
We just snuck in, yeah.
Okay. We had to send out 2 different links. Did you guys have trouble?
Yeah, we were late, and then when we got on, it had no internet, and it had to go.
I'll let her out.
Oh, okay. So we're up to the part where we're talking about hardware cloth to stop the birds in the shelter area, and that we just said was going to get done after the Rotary is finished with the sealing of that. Okay, we are on held items. But before we go to held items, I just want to know, Carol or Dave, do you have any communications or anything that you need to, because you missed that part of the meeting?
Well, it's just communicate with my brain.
No, just that, I'm glad we could communicate with that lady at the garden this morning. That was an interesting morning with the ground lady.
We got that figured out, and I'm sure that once we get our fence repair, so we're hoping to start our fence repair next week, we'll be able to, keep that critter out, because we did a lot of fence repair today.
Yes, we did.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
It's done. It's done.
Dave pulling the weeds and all right. Ribbon cutting for the shelter. I know that's still a held item because of COVID, so it'll continue to be held. One thing with that, Sabrina, can I send you information about what would need to be on the plaque? And you can ask Penfield Trophy how much it will be, so we can figure out what part of our budget that's going to take up. I don't know how.
Sure.
I have no idea how expensive those things usually are.
Usually not too bad.
Okay, great. That's perfect. So on that one plaque will be our Mason. Rotary is going to be on the Boy Scout plaque. Ryan ordered a plaque himself. So I know that he said that was going to be on there. What happened to my Zoom? Oh, there we go. Oh, and then the gutter company that donated the gutters. That's the other one. Which actually that should be under, I didn't even put that in under projects, but we don't have an update on the gutter thing. I know Glenn was going to look into how to put those up. So, other held items, which are, I'm guessing, staying held: solar purchase and installation, owl nesting boxes, and bat house, which I believe Ben said he was going to help us put up.
Yeah, I'll talk to Ben about the bat house. I wouldn't mind, based on what money we have left over. I mean, we may not because of the fencing that we're doing, but like we just went and bought an electric lawnmower. Dot has the same one. There's some really great stuff out there, and I think it would really be a good thing to get established. So we can always bring it back. I mean, we could bring it back, and that could be our fundraiser again for if we ever have a pasta dinner again. But it would be nice to bring that back, maybe this year, or at least kind of do a little more research. We found some new electric systems that we may move to instead of the ones we initially had picked out. Also carried by Home Depot, because I know we have town has a contract with them. But maybe kind of keep it in the back of our minds and maybe consider bringing that back within the year. I don't know if it's going to be done this year. I think we need to get the fence this year. And then maybe next year, one of our bigger projects would be to bring that, the solar back on. And maybe we use that as a fundraiser. Maybe we even get a Boy Scout to help research it. And I know they can work with Jim, because he already has all the schematics on it. He's already kind of designed the system that would be in the shed.
Okay.
So it'd be kind of nice.
I also think along those lines that we might need to update our 5-year plan, since we've gotten some things out of the way that were on our plan, and that we can revisit that and see what needs to be. Was it a 5-year plan or a 10-year plan, Dave?
5.
Okay, fine.
Okay, thank you. For a second, I doubted myself. And
Actually, in the
looking-
last couple of years, we've gotten a lot done.
Right. But that's
Hey, Doc.
something that yeah,
Another thing Dave and I talked about in the car was, maybe if, I don't know how we could do it or if we could do it, would be to make suggestions or say what cannot be planted in the garden because we had such trouble with that big tree in the garden. I don't know whether we can do that or not, since
Planting regulations or something like
they're
that?
planting, they're paying for the
I
bed,
think
but
that would go in your manual, your handbook.
if
Because
we
I-
have
I-
a meeting
Should be
about the
updated.
handbook, yeah.
I think we ought to revisit that because apparently I think that lady didn't have a clue this morning about a lot of things.
Especially that the garden was organic. She
Well,
didn't,
I mean, people need to, read the manual to know what's in it. So part of that is just
Well, we
hoping
could
that
do-
people will
Well,
read.
we do the training. We can hope they get it.
well, if people
some
read
people
the
don't.
manual, we could give them a reward. We could give them 4 or 5 zucchini.
Big ones, like
I don't know.
footers.
I don't know if that's a
Footers.
reward.
4 feet by 24 inches.
This point, no. You know, a zucchini can grow 2 to 3 inches a day.
Yes, we know.
Yeah,
Yeah. Most of
I
us know
see.
that.
yeah, I've seen some monsters.
I think we should revisit, though, maybe in the manual of things that could be a potential problem for rodents or critters.
Yeah, I think we should have a meeting about the manual.
Yeah.
We usually like maybe September this way because that goes out in January when we start selling the beds. Right,
Right.
Sabrina? Okay.
Yeah,
I wonder if it's something we could put a manual online and a new gardener gets it. And they can answer questions from it so that we know they've read it before they can plant or something. Because there's a lot of stuff you can do where we can actually, we can send it to them and say, you need to read this. There's some questions below. We're trying to make sure everyone's on the same page so that we know that they've read it. And it just forces us to read it again, even though we write it. But, I'm saying it just might be something to,
So there is
Find a way
something
to
on
track.
the registration form now that they have to check that says that they read it. That's why it's
yeah,
there.
something like that.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be a way, a lot of times you can go online. Like I know for me, when I have to figure it out, I mean, RIT has a software, but I can send my students reading and I can track them if they read it. Sort of, maybe they just open it up and then walk away and go watch TV or something, but they can keep track of how long it was open. But that might be something we could do.
I wouldn't go that far, honestly.
Yeah.
No, I would, but at least have them sign something, prove that they've read it.
I was going to say,
we
I'm
do.
not checking their homework.
How about registration? Is that going to be online, you think, by January? Or, well, we don't know, do we? Oh.
There's no reason it shouldn't be.
Well, I'm just thinking if we're revising the manual, maybe we ought to have new manuals, and as the people come in to do their gardens, that they get a new manual. And then Sabrina is the manual cop, and she tells them whether no. No, I just think if we do a new manual, that maybe that would be the time to give it out. Would be in January when they re-sign up for their beds.
Right.
Well,
that's
Yeah,
what we
that
do.
would be the goal. That's what we
Well,
do
if-
in like September.
if we have a revised manual, can we take the original and put it into the rare book library?
Yes, we can. Actually, we're going to put it in the historical room.
Yeah.
I know that Sabrina does give the manual out to everybody when they sign up for their bed.
Yeah.
But I'm
I
thinking if we revise it, though, I mean, I think
Yes,
we
if we revise it, they'll
on
get
the
a new one.
outside, new revised manual.
Yeah, and everyone will get it.
If you wanted to do it before then, I don't see the point of doing it before then, but you can always, we can get it to the members now. if you wanted to.
Yeah.
I think we should have a meeting on it.
Yeah.
It's not always nice to change the game in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's why I
true.
thought
Meet
if
in the
we did it
fall.
for January.
yeah, meet in the fall, make our new rules, and have it ready for January when people register. We can actually debut it
Right.
if we ever get to have a fall dinner.
Yeah. Okay.
That's funny. Okay, so that actually might be new business because we were on old business and I don't know
Well,
if there's
kinda-
any other.
Kind of is old. Old new.
It's old and new business because we do have to do, regular checkups of the manual anyways.
Right.
That's just good practice. Sabrina, oh gosh, it just slipped my mind what I was going to ask you.
Somebody else does it.
This is the second time today.
How old are you?
Yeah.
Dot, I
Old enough?
have a question.
Go ahead,
My internet got booted there for a few minutes.
Yeah, I noticed we lost you.
Yeah, and then now my videos come back because I couldn't get my video to work before either. Have we heard any complaints about voles? Because I've not done a lot of trapping. I've got a trap in my bed, but I've had no problems. So I just wondered if anybody else was hearing anything.
No. The only complaints we're getting are about rabbits and groundhogs. I
Okay,
feel like we may
that's
have
good.
sort of turned a corner on the vole situation. There have been 2 applications of the Nature's Mace. I did it during the really dry time, the second time, because that's supposed to be the best time to do it. And now I was going to do a third, but that's not going to happen until it gets dry again. But yeah, it's rabbits and groundhogs.
Okay, good.
Hopefully we covered up that hole and it'll
Yes.
deter them. Or the holes in the fence too.
Yep. One of the other things that I have noticed is, and this is new business, is squirrels. I know we can't keep squirrels out. I'm not suggesting that because I know that that's a battle no one's going to win. But the trees back by the big red shed are coming far enough out of the forest so that they can run to the edge and jump onto the big red shed.
Ah,
Well, can we trim those back?
Yeah.
Those
Yeah,
branches back?
Yeah, we'll have to trim those. And I think Larry said he was going to go up there and take care of it because he had some things he was going to work on. So,
I know
there.
this crazy. I know this woman with this pole saw that's kind of wild and crazy. She could cut it. Not me.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I know. I know. Patsy said she was going to ask Larry if he could do it, but I just wanted everyone to know that particular corner also, the gardens back there do get more shade. So I think it would be good if we cut those back because they're kind of getting a little bit, more shade than some of the other areas, and it's not really the best situation for them. So, and the other thing that I did last week was the big red shed in the back. I went around and I re-tacked down all of the critter fencing around that shed. I haven't seen any evidence that anyone's digging under there, but I wanted to double, kind of just get some insurance on it. And I got a bunch of the gravel from the parking area rock pit, and I piled it all up around there. I added some more. So, because I don't want that gopher to come move in. Woodchuck. Is a woodchuck a gopher?
No, different things.
They are different, yeah.
Yes.
They're both a pain.
Yeah, don't tell anyone that I'm supposed to be a science teacher.
Woodchucks and groundhogs are the same thing.
That's it. Thank you. And I'll never remember what I was going to tell Sabrina.
A woodchuck does chuck wood, don't forget.
Yeah.
Yes.
And a gopher cannot chuck wood.
No, a gopher just goes.
Only a
At
woodchuck
first.
can chuck wood.
let's see here about that.
All right.
Oh, hey,
Yeah.
Dot, are we
Yes.
on new business?
Yeah.
Did you find out anything interesting from Sabrina about trapping?
Sabrina's gonna ask the,
Animal
Well,
control.
Animal
Yeah.
control.
Huh? Critter control?
Yes,
Yeah.
Thought's losing it.
Well,
I
tell them
am.
if we can pay some money under the table, we would be happy to. Oh, I didn't say that. I'm sorry.
Under the
Don't
fence,
record that, Chris.
under the fence. in there.
Sorry.
Carol, just a reminder, we are live on TV right now.
Oh, okay.
We're all tired. It's time to be done.
all right, anything else for the good of the order?
I think we're good.
Carol, you're gonna meet me at Nancy's house now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are. We're coming over right now.
Come on over.
All
A
right,
little social distance.
anyone else? We're good? Okay.
Yeah.
I will adjourn the meeting. Thank you very much. And next month, same time, same station.
Thank you, guys.
Adjourn.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.